like a mouthful. Okay, cool. Remember you have microphones here. I'm gonna go move this one. Sorry everyone, I'm gonna try to listen. Move this one here, move that one there. Cool. So we finally did it. We finally managed to stream to both Facebook and YouTube simultaneously using the Mevo. Sorry Facebook, your terms of service for that suck. But we are live. So let's go over kind of what Hack Days is, do our little intro, and yeah, we'll get into it. So Hack Days is every Sunday we get together and just talk about nerdy stuff, whether it's programming, bots, AI, something someone brings along, could be anything really ultimately, but it revolves around like nerdy stuff. So it could be comics, could be latest movie we saw, really could be anything. So kind of a grab bag of nerdy things for you to enjoy on your Sunday. And if your Sunday is anything like ours, which is kind of rainy and overcast, hopefully you're enjoying us indoors right now and listening to the sweet, sweet sounds of my voice. But we're actually here at Noisebridge in San Francisco. If you don't know about Noisebridge, you can visit noisebridge.net. It's a local hackerspace. It's a nonprofit organization run by volunteers just like you and me. And they are always looking for donations. So if you're in the area, stop on by. They have everything from laser cutters to woodworking tools to metal tools to just a place to sit down and program. We have an electronics shop. Anything you can imagine, 3D printers, whatever it is. If you want to build it, you can build it here. So come visit us at noisebridge.net and check out the wiki. It'll tell you all about what we have, all the cool events, all the cool classes that are happening here. We have classes like Arduino, Circuit Hacking Monday, let's see what Python classes. We have one class that's Haskell with an artificial intelligence lean. It's really neat, so you should check it out. And of course, as always, we have crypto builders, right? So every other week we host an event called Crypto Builders. So if you're into building any cryptocurrency related tech, so whether that be your own custom blockchain, some Bitcoin fork with Ethereum, or you're building on top of Ethereum, learning Solidity. Everyone from all types of backgrounds and all types of types of experiences, levels of experience, there we go, are welcome to come out, hang out, and just hack. We do open forum, speakers, so anyone can take the floor and talk about their latest, nerdiest thing that they want to talk about. And we usually have pizzas, so, there's that.
Pizza.
Yeah, so without further ado, it's Hack Days, and welcome back. Running a little late, but, we got it started. So if you're visiting us on YouTube, hello. If you're visiting us on Facebook, hello. And that's all we have figured out for now. So one day we'll figure out Twitch. So cool. So you want to get into it? Anyone want to talk about latest, greatest things?
What are the latest, greatest things?
I know, it's the holidays, huh? It's tough. Any holiday cool tech going on? Oh, I want to talk about something real quick. If you haven't seen this video about BitConnect.
I have to look it up. Wait, let me link everyone in the comments because it's seriously, I died. I don't know where it's come from. I don't know what this is. It's real. It's real, but it's weird.
So if people don't know about BitConnect, if people don't know about what's happening in ICOs, it's like a lot of money and a lot of people trying to figure out how to make more money off of people, and it's kind of strange, and there's a lot of good and a lot of bad, and this falls somewhere in the middle where there's like people trying to figure out what BitConnect is, and no one knows who owns BitConnect or who runs it. Yeah, so it's like this totally stealthy operation, but they pour tons and tons of money into PR and marketing. They had a huge event, right, where they basically had, it was like a beauty pageant style cryptocurrency event where they were like on stage and awarding affiliate links and bounty program people. I mean, it was like the Emmys of crypto, right?
It was so weird.
It was so weird. And you had all these people who honestly, quite honestly, looked like they were paid actors to be there.
I don't know, because I haven't looked into the BitConnect narrative, but just upon first glance, it looks like Las Vegas on steroids in like some, yeah, it looks like the Grammys. Like it's so weird and it's so funny. But then what's even funnier about the video that I linked everyone to,
Wait, did you post the original or the edit?
the edit.
Okay, the edit.
But that is on the BitConnect channel. So it's like they've made a meme out of themselves, which is kind of brilliant.
Yeah.
But whoever remixed it, like, it's so funny. It's so funny. So if you're at home, like, feel free to open up another window and view that video, and you'll die. It's
So what's also
weird.
crazy is not only are they pumping tons of money into PR and marketing and all these like really next level events that are like Salesforce-y. You know what I'm saying? Just like
Yeah.
they took a page out of Salesforce's like their own event manual, right? And it was bizarre. But what's even more bizarre is the story behind it. Apparently, there are people who are trying to figure out who's behind BitConnect, and every time they do, they get swatted. And for those of you that don't know what getting swatted means, they basically spoof a call saying that you're armed or have a hostage situation so that the SWAT team comes in, right, and basically arrests you, right? Kicks down your door, and yeah, it's harassment on another level. It's crazy.
It's so funny.
And so, yeah, there's this whole like, air of mystery and like crazy and like, what is, and there's even commercials. There's commercials where people are dancing.
No, that's a music video. It's they basically paid some kind of group to make a song for them, and then they did a music video, and it's basically all just like propaganda, like BitConnect is great, it's good. They
But
even spell out good with their hands,
Yeah.
like
And it's like good, happy, smile.
Yeah.
Like it's
So
totally,
weird.
yeah, like
so weird.
totally propaganda. It's amazing. If you look at this machine, I'm still curious on how they came about to this strategy, right?
I don't.
It's
It seems okay. I don't want to use this word, but it seems so scammy. It
yeah,
seems so
it's not hitting the right notes.
No, it's not authentic at all, and it's like
Right.
trying so hard.
It's not like hitting the technical notes. It's hitting all the marketing to like another level. Like the marketing and the technical people never had a discussion, and they're like, "How do we sell this thing?" And the technical people talked to the marketing people, and the marketing people were like, "I have no idea what you just said. We're gonna hire dancers, and we're gonna create a music video."
Yeah.
And the tech people were probably like, "Cool, but make sure you mention this." And they're like, "No one's gonna understand what that means. They're gonna understand happy. They're gonna understand freedom, right? It's these weird words where it's like it basically is like free of the oppression that is the current system, but in a very like candy,
Yeah,
glossy
like a
way.
really glossy.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna use, like bubblegum
Yeah.
way.
Oh, and there's like a whole dance where they're like
It's a
BitConnect.
dance.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's really great. And I know what I just did is going to be an animated GIF tomorrow, so.
I hope so. Wow.
So, yeah. So anyway, that was our our BitConnect adventure yesterday or the day before.
Dude,
I had never
I
heard of
probably
them
watched
before.
that video, like, just replaying that one part where, like, I think it's at 24 seconds it starts. And that's really where you should start the video, and then
Yeah.
it's really
Because in this video, they have people come up on the stage and basically preach why BitConnect is good, right? And some people are like, my wife didn't believe me, and I invested $1,000, and now I'm up to $100,000, right? It's like boiler room, classic pump and dump scheme.
Yeah, right.
Like it's totally 100% just if it isn't that, I mean, they are hitting every note there, right? Like,
I can't say for sure what it is because I didn't spend that much time looking into it, but it certainly seems like some bizarre.
so bottom line, enjoy the show, but be careful, right?
Yeah, right?
Yeah, and always, perform your own due diligence. I think that's what happens.
Totally. Man, so funny.
So, okay, so that was probably the highlight.
It's so funny.
That was probably the highlight.
Anyway.
Yeah, so any other tech Thanksgiving stuff? Do you want to join us? Or you gonna?
Yes.
You
Steve,
can
I
heckle
love
us.
Steve's.
You can heckle us. We'll be like, boo, off stage. Welcome, Steve.
Welcome, Steve.
Well, I've been on vacation everywhere. So
Everywhere.
Brazil, Miami. So
Wait, what?
What brand is that?
this is a tablet called Remarkable, and it's like a paper substitute.
Like it's an e-paper, but you can write
It's
it.
beautiful.
Yeah, and you can.
Can we get a close up of this thing?
Yeah, you can if you like.
You turn away a bit.
Let me. So here you want to.
It looks really cool, but it also reminds me of like the
Wow.
1990s Mac experience. So it's like double fun.
Yeah,
That's incredible.
it's kind of like that. It's simple. It doesn't have email or anything like that. So
No distractions.
no distractions. Yeah, that's the whole point.
So it can fax.
No, it's not going to.
Right. Wow. I'll do a quick sketch.
And I like the
Wolverine.
grid. So they pop up.
Wait, why can't I draw? Do a quick Wolverine sketch.
I'm collecting everyone's art sketches here.
Nice.
Oh, that's looking pretty good.
Oh, get ready. Just giving
Uh-huh.
Dan, like, never ending fire. I wanna look this up.
This is cool. The response time is really amazing on this.
That is cool.
Wow. That's neat. So can you print it out, or how does that work?
When you attach it to the Wi-Fi, it syncs to an app that runs on your phone or your computer. So it isn't hooked up to the Wi-Fi, but when it is,
Oh, it does it like real time, or what?
it'll get synced after you've finished it.
Wow.
Cool.
That's neat. I love things that I can draw on and write on and like.
I like the case for it too.
Yeah,
Then
that's
it has
cool.
layers, so you can like start a new layer up here. You
Wow.
got Photoshop.
Nice.
So,
Yeah, most don't have any form of flair. They just have
mhm.
like history of lines.
What would we say? Hey, Bob. Right.
Mhm.
I'm Hugh Jackman, but
That's
Nice,
awesome.
yeah.
That's really cool.
Like, can I show that to the camera real quick?
Yeah, absolutely. There you go.
So this is what I drew. It's pretty awesome. Is it coming up on me?
Yeah, it's there.
So yeah, it looks pretty sick, and the response time is pretty instantaneous. It basically feels like a Kindle DX, but with
Yeah, that you
interactive.
can write on, yeah. Mhm.
That's awesome. How is the response time for like books or ebooks or things like that?
It's pretty good here. Books.
Yeah. The refresh rate on this is sick.
Yeah, here you go.
Nice.
So,
Wow. This really feels like the successor to the DX. We tried using the DX in college for all of you that don't know, the Kindle DX is basically a Kindle but this size, right? And we tried using them we thought we were really cool, and we got their first generation,
Mhm.
and we were going to use them for our textbooks in class, right? We're like, we're not going to
Really?
carry around textbooks anymore. Yeah, we'd actually spent quite a good bit of money on it, and we were so proud of ourselves. And we got them in, and each page turn was could be up to 5 seconds on some books that we had on there,
Wow.
because they're technical books, right? So you need
Yeah.
diagrams and you need graphics essentially.
Like, that doesn't seem like that long, but that's long.
When you're waiting in class and
Really?
you're like, yeah,
Yeah, so
Oh,
they've
that's
got
great.
like
Yeah.
regular.
look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Now you could actually use it. Wow.
Yeah. And then you can write on it, which is kind of nice.
You can take notes.
Yeah.
What?
On the page.
Yeah. So
That's sick.
look at that.
Wow.
Wow. Can I show everyone at home? Wow, look at this. You can take notes right on the page there. Look at that.
Big.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow.
That's
That's really
great. So
cool.
it's nice new toy.
Steve has not been paid by the company to promote it, so.
No, it's like
But if they want to send us one to test out, we'll totally be down.
it popped up on Facebook, and it was the first thing I've ever.
Ooh, Facebook ads. From an ad on Facebook,
yeah.
really?
First
Wow.
ad I've ever,
Wow, Facebook ad?
I've ever fell for. But it worked, yeah.
You never fell for it. It seems like this is a pretty good thing to fall for, though.
Uh-huh.
This is neat. So you went on vacation. Did you do anything on vacation, or you were just relaxing?
No, just, it was a retreat.
Oh,
It was
okay.
all like, getting up at 6:30 in the morning, showering under the waterfall.
Yeah. Same.
Meditating for 5 hours.
Where at?
It was a place called Abidjania.
Is it in the United States or
No, it's in Brazil.
Brazil? Okay, cool.
That's awesome.
Oh, that sounds so cool.
Well, I went to a Friendsgiving, so I've got you beat. Just kidding. How was your all Thanksgiving? How was that?
Amazing.
Yeah,
Good.
cool.
We went to 3 Thanksgivings. No, we went to 4 Thanksgivings.
Nice. That's even better.
We had a Friendsgiving. We had a Thanksgiving at Noisebridge, which was amazing. If you're in the Bay Area, you should really come to Noisebridge because the Thanksgiving here, I mean, it wasn't really a Thanksgiving. It was just like a bunch of people coming together eating food, which was really cool.
Yeah.
And then we had another dinner somewhere else, which is, this was the first year that I'd have a real holiday fall festival. It was nice.
Okay, so I've been researching something called Urbit or Urbit, URBIT. Right, .org. And so we've been talking a little bit about, we have a couple of announcements with our company, and one of those is a developer fund. We'll talk more about that later as that builds out. But one of the things that we keep thinking about is a blockchain-based operating system, or at least an operating system that embodies and embraces more of the decentralized ethos of Web3. So somebody had mentioned to check out Urbit or Urbit. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. And I was digging around, and it looks pretty cool. And they're going to build on top of Ethereum. And so I'm like, oh wow, this seems like very cool. This is a very cool project. And I started doing more research into the founder, and it turns out that the founder is a Thiel fellow, Peter Thiel fellow. And correct me if I'm wrong, but on his Wikipedia page, it shows that he's into alt-right dark enlightenment stuff. And I don't know what dark enlightenment is.
Is that
I'm not gonna look it up.
education for the dark arts? Is this a Harry Potter Slytherin thing? Or
We
is
said
this...
alt-right starting out.
I was ignoring
so-
the alt-right part because I'm not interested in alt-right.
Yeah, which is crazy. Which is like, I have never seen that in tech before. And
It's everywhere. It's not, I mean, it's everywhere.
yeah, and
But that's so
it's even crazier
weird.
that it was like a Peter Thiel. Like, I don't know. I guess I just don't assume that people associate themselves
Wait, you say it's alt-right, dark minds?
dark enlightenment.
What dark enlightenment?
Yeah, I don't know what dark enlightenment is. It says it's a neo-reactionary movement. Anyway, Curtis Yarvin was the person I was looking up. They've been banned from conferences because of their ideologies, beliefs.
Really?
Yeah. So anyway, but back to Urbit. I don't know if I want to. I
Use
don't-
that?
Yeah. It's unfortunate, but yeah, it's crazy that even that stuff pervades tech, right? Like, it's unfortunate. But if you have any ideas about blockchain operating system, or what your view or vision of a new type of operating system that connects all things and participates simultaneously in decentralized and distributed services, like, reach out to us. We're interested in both investigating and creating some kind of group that might be interested in funding something like that.
Yeah,
So
that'd be sick.
yeah, hit us up. So anyway, that was my whole like rabbit hole of like, wow, this got weird real quick kind of thing.
Yeah, that's
And yeah, it's super bizarre.
that is so weird.
So
Man.
because when you
sucks.
use software, you are perpetuating or almost sponsoring the ideals of the people that are creating it, right?
Yeah, whether
Just
you
like
want to know that or not, you are.
right. And just like when you purchase food or purchase clothing from people who have particular ideals, you just have to be aware. A conscientious consumer, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're voting with your dollars.
Yeah. So
Even
anyway,
if it's free, you're voting with your interest. And
super bizarre.
bizarre. Do you want to read more about Curtis Yarvin? I linked you with the Wikipedia, which is
Yeah.
stunning.
And just check out your bit too. See what good that is there. And then this goes back to talking about was one thing I mentioned. Can you appreciate a body of work when it must be separated from its creator?
We were talking about this the other day, and it's on a case-by-case basis, right? Because sometimes it like destroys their credibility.
But if they're like technically gifted, but they're like
A horrible
philosophy,
person.
yeah,
If they're a murderer.
can you that was the example that I used, like the most extreme example, right? I mean, there is one example of a file system author.
There's a lot of examples right now in television and movies.
There is, right? Yeah. So, can you appreciate the craft or output from a person without appreciating the person? Can you separate what they've done from who they are?
I don't know, it depends on what they did. If it's like, but okay, this is the thing. Why do you have to attribute all that greatness to them? Like, you don't have to celebrate them, but you can be like, okay, well, let's build on top of the work that's already here, and I don't care about who made it.
And it's a very interesting.
If it
Dilemma.
keeps humanity going and it improves upon something that wasn't so good and now is better, just because some jerk off made it,
So anyway, that's our philosophy big question for the day.
We're getting deep today.
Yeah.
This is a
yeah,
deep half
I know.
days.
Let's go back to something lighter. What do you got? What do you got for me?
Nothing. You know what's interesting? Okay, you were watching that video about Jeff Bezos,
Mm-hmm.
and then you watched this video.
Oh, you gotta link the video.
Oh, okay. Let's see. There's a video we were watching about Jeff Bezos with his brother. But what's the one that you posted?
The one I posted was an an interview of Jeff Bezos in 1999 by 60 Minutes.
Yeah, in this interview, he looks like this sweet old man. I mean, just like
He doesn't look that old.
he looks old. He's like losing a lot of his hair. Maybe he doesn't look old, but he looks like an entrepreneur who's really paving the way for the future. And then I looked at this interview with him and his brother, and I was like, oh, who is this person? Has he got a facelift? Has he like got a body morphing, like, is he drinking some elixir? Like, what?
It's called billions of dollars.
What is going on?
You see the same thing with Elon Musk,
Yeah.
like for older videos of him,
It's so weird. Why does this happen? Why do these people do this?
they get confidence.
Yeah, probably testosterone replacement therapy as well. That would be my yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna link you guys to
I
that.
already linked the video.
Okay.
He's worth $100 billion now, right?
Yeah. So how have your projects been? Have you been working on things, or did you take a little break?
No, not too much, taking a break.
Okay, cool. All right. Nothing else I can talk about now.
It's a rainy day in San Francisco.
It is.
It's
It is.
super rainy.
Let's see. What's coming up next? It's going to be Christmas soon enough. So next week, if you're in the Bay Area, we have a Ethereum hackathon, I think, on Friday. We'll link that in the comments. I'll be doing the keynote there, talking about the potential of cryptocurrency and like all the cool applications that you can build in it, and I'll also be giving a lecture on like introduction to Solidity. Right, basically going from knowing nothing, hopefully you can program, knowing nothing in Solidity, and going all the way up to building a smart contract. So you'll want to check that out, and that's happening next Friday, I think.
What is that group?
So many things to do.
What's the date on that? That's
The 1st, I think.
okay.
Somebody said, I can't make out a word you guys are saying.
It's not true. Jason, what? Can you still not make out a word we are saying? Because I just checked the
audio?
mic. Yeah.
Oh, weird. Let me check my audio.
Jason's like, I'm not even looking at this video anymore.
So somebody want to take over while I check this?
Oh, it's so rainy today.
It is so rainy.
What are you guys doing for all of December? I feel like the year is over. 2017 was crazy. It's
Okay.
getting crazier and crazier. I can't even...
Let's stick to tech though.
No, I'm talking about tech.
Okay.
I'm like thinking about, should I buy the new iPhone? Should
Ooh.
I not buy the new iPhone? And then what about the iPod Pro or the iPad Pro that's coming out? And then the new computer that's, I don't even know what to do with that. I don't know.
So you're looking for holiday gift ideas for yourself.
Yeah.
You should have taken advantage of Singles Day from Alibaba.
I heard about that.
What was it?
Singles Day, where you buy like gifts for yourself.
Where if you're single,
I
Oh, it's a
mean,
genius. They made something like, I want to say $2.5 billion
nice.
from the day.
Yeah.
And they have celebrities come and like, they do a whole like telethon, but
That's
it's all
cool.
in China. It's pretty fun.
So what are some hot tech things you're looking to purchase?
well, I recently got into like cameras and filming, and so I'd like to find a really good mic. Like these little guys are great, but I would like to find something that, I don't know. I want to get into audio engineering, and I don't really know where to start. So I guess that's something that interests me. If you're watching right now and you're into like editing and stuff, please post in the comments. What else? I don't know. Oh, I recently bought those light bulbs that you can like control with your...
Like RGB?
Yeah.
Kind of? Okay.
Yeah, they should be coming through Amazon.
Great.
But I feel like it's so easy to upgrade your home or your apartment or wherever you're dwelling into like this sci-fi smart place.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking for anything like that you think is cool. Please post about it if you know something.
What are you going to buy the Amazon smart door thing?
No, I'm not gonna buy the Amazon smart door and let some stranger into my home. Guys, that was the stupidest idea you ever came up with. Why?
Well, that was heated.
It's dumb. If you think the Amazon smart door, whatever drop-off thing is a good idea,
Didn't you say it
That's
got
a-
hacked or something?
no. What didn't I what? It got hacked, obviously,
That's
because
a
it's
bad,
just a surveillance camera.
that's a bad idea, but the idea of letting multiple people have logins to get into your apartment or building might make sense.
Yeah.
No, I don't feel comfortable with that.
What's the advantage of the Amazon lock over something like
I don't know anything.
the Ring, where they like ring in and
Well, the Ring
you
has
can let them in?
their whole thing's around a camera, right?
They're only a camera.
Well, I mean, like their whole thing is about like camera recognition, something.
Hmm.
Well, I just think the Ring is better because it's giving you the choice to open the door or not.
Can the Ring
whereas-
even open the door, or is it just a?
Yeah, it can unlock the door.
Oh wow. Hmm.
But that's like the deluxe version. That's not, I don't think that's the one most people have. But the Amazon thing, it's like I'm just giving someone access to my home.
Hmm.
I'm not saying, you know, you might not even know those people. It's like a delivery service or like a cleaning service. Those are the use cases that they decide to advertise with. But that's so strange to me. And what's even more strange is the video they have on the page is on the Amazon page is for like, it seems like a young adult female. And first of all, what kind of young adult can buy this Amazon tech? And then like, what are they really going to use it responsibly? I don't know. It just
Isn't
seems
that expensive?
so.
So you can hook. The Ring doesn't have a door lock,
It seems so silly.
but it
Two
can
$49.
connect to smart locks.
Yes,
So they do.
they
They
can
do
coordinate
mention-
together.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing with the Amazon thing. It just connects to a lock that is compatible,
Hmm.
but for $250 you can get the set.
Wow.
That's crazy.
They also really, it's basically like Uber drivers delivering your Amazon packages. I've noticed. Like they don't even have like passwords or like setups to get into apartment buildings like FedEx or anything.
Yeah, I mean, I prefer Ring, but that's only because I actually have friends that have Ring and use it. But also a big thing that happens is people will still steal the Ring off your door, at least in San Francisco,
Oh,
which sucks.
There was a blockchain. So before I get into this,
Yes.
but because it's kind of tangentially related, it's called Slock.it.
Slock. How do you spell that?
SLOCK.IT. Airbnb apartments become fully automated. Smart objects can be rented on demand, and unused vehicles get a new lease on life. It was basically like a sharing economy, IoT on the blockchain. I think the same people that did the DAO did Slock. I haven't really heard much about them, but I'm surprised that they're not trying to become a bigger player in this, what we're talking about now.
Yeah, interesting.
So, yeah.
Well, they were at DEFCON 3, so
Oh yeah, I mean
they
they're
spent some money to get there.
they're deep in the Ethereum ecosystem there.
Wow, interesting.
So back to holiday gift ideas for yourself. You know, I want another Titan XP. I think it would be totally sick to SLI that stuff.
Okay, that's sick. Yes.
Right. So we have a Titan XP that we use for deep learning, model training, and VR. You know, more video cards is better. More is better. What else?
Can you explain to people what a Titan XP is?
Titan
I don't know.
XP is so NVIDIA has NVIDIA is kind of like the de facto really because of the CUDA it's really the choice for deep learning model training. They came out with at least the affordable choice, right? And affordable is like, you know, $1,800 a card or something we're talking about. Before you get up to the Tesla line. So the Titan line, Titan XP is I think part of the GTX line. And what separates the Titan XP video cards for deep learning, machine learning, model training is that they don't have error correction and you can't share memory between the video cards, right? But with the Tesla line of video cards, you can. So if you're working on something that requires error correction, where if there's any problem with precision, you know, it could cause massive problems in the model downstream or something. So yeah, the Titan XP is probably the best, most affordable pro-consumer video card for deep learning model training. So
That's cool.
So yeah, how we use it is we basically are interested in using it in remote machine learning training. We do some local, but you know, we're trying to figure out how to train a machine learning model and then run it locally, like on your Raspberry Pi or some like artificial intelligent like co-processor on your device. And if you look at last week's video, there was someone here doing exactly that and thinking exactly along those lines. So check out kind of like Big Vision at Synapse, and yeah, my big want would be like a huge case full of just Titan XPs, you know, and then I can die happy with a giant heating bill, a giant electricity bill.
It would be so hot.
It would be so hot. Let's see, but that might be a good way to warm your home and make a few bucks. Maybe if I could start mining cryptocurrency. Did you see that video?
Of the people mining with the big fancy
Yeah,
mining?
in
What
Finland?
video was that?
In Finland or something?
Finland.
So there's these huge mining rigs, right? Not mining rigs, huge mining warehouses, right? Where people move to countries that have very cheap energy, very cheap electricity, and it costs very little to cool some system, right? So typically Arctic weather or cold frozen weather. And so they've built these giant mining warehouses that all they do all day long is mine cryptocurrency. So
It's crazy.
yeah.
Are
Are you
No,
here for
please.
Hackdays?
Yeah, I'm a little late. Yeah.
Come join us.
Yeah, it's open anytime. We're streaming live, so
Oh,
yeah.
I just linked you guys to the Finnish mining warehouse video if you want to watch it. It's pretty
So
crazy.
you're down.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Do you have something you want to share, or?
no, I want to listen more.
Okay.
Cool.
That's great.
Thanks.
So we're just talking about holiday gift ideas for ourselves, which is like you know,
tech.
if we want to buy stuff for ourselves this holiday, what it would be. And I said video cards. You said what? What was your?
What did I say? I don't know. I don't want anything. I just want something cool that has to do with like audio.
You don't
Like
want
a
the
cool
iPhone.
microphone.
You don't want an iPhone.
I want the iPhone, but it's $1,000. So if someone
What
wants
the-
to give me $1,000 iPhone, yes, I'll take
The
it.
iPhone X.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that would be pretty sick.
If someone gave me an iPhone,
Well,
yeah,
yeah.
that would be pretty sick. Thank you, everyone. Please.
I mean,
spread the news.
the only difference with that and the 8 is like the face recognition, or what's.
I'm not
special
gonna
about it?
use the face recognition because why am I giving them like this?
It happens. You're right. So valuable. It happens on the device, right? All the face recognition happens on device.
Yeah, yeah.
So you're not sending anything to Apple, but you know, I think
Do you trust that?
No, because
Neither
No,
do I.
no, because they can use it if you're ever arrested. They can
Yeah.
use- that's the reason why people don't use thumbprints.
Right.
For a lot of things. So they can just take your face and then open your phone.
right. I would rather somebody beat me to death before I give up my password. It's called Rubber Hose Security, I think is what it's called. Or it's like your security is good as a rubber hose somebody's gonna beat you with. Yeah, rubber hose cryptanalysis. Yeah.
There's a question from
It's
Juan
like the same
Gallardo.
phone.
He says, "What's your favorite future use for robots?"
What's my favorite? So I spend a lot of time, if we're talking about personal like service robots, I spend a lot of time thinking about like heterogeneous multi-agent systems, like how these kind of, you know, little components can work together to achieve some overall directive, right?
Yeah.
So multi-agent systems, which emerged into something like a global autonomous logistics and supply chain. I know I've said that quite a bit on this show, but it's something that I really love and would love to see. So that's my favorite future use of robots, would be to control resources and optimize indefinitely.
Yeah, same. I think that's incredible.
Going back to the iPhones, the only difference between the iPhone 8 and the iPhone X is Face ID, and the iPhone X has a slightly higher display.
Like higher than the Retina display?
5.5 inch Retina HD versus 5.8 inch Super Retina HD display.
Are there any Android phones that are even touching those specs now?
I think there's Android phones that are blowing those specs away.
Really? Okay.
Whoa.
Like
Well, I mean, at least for the camera, I'm not sure about the display, but like a lot of the Apple usually doesn't like blow anyone out of the water. They just kind of come in and do one thing, and then they claim that they're the best. I use Apple though. Apple X versus Android.
I don't even know what this comment means over here.
Where?
Do a video software setup for Claymore mining mean, please? What is that?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
so this Samsung Galaxy Note 8 has a 6.3 HD, where Retina, where
I get it.
iPhone X has 5.8. So it's not even the best.
Wow.
But the Android uses Snapdragon, which is terrible.
Why
Claymore
is
is dual Ethereum AMD NVIDIA GPU miner. Okay, interesting. Dual mining with Claymore, Crypto Badger. Go ahead, I'm gonna read up on this.
That was about it.
What do you want for Christmas for yourself?
I don't want anything for Christmas for myself. I'm
Mm.
good right now.
I'm good right now. Let's see, what else? Invisibility cloak, rocket boots, obviously.
Oh my god, invisibility cloak.
Right.
Yes.
A little whistle that when I whistle, it, is a whole chorus of other whistles. I guess
Oh
that's just a
my
trend.
god, that would be so cool.
Shoes that walk for me.
No, I like walking.
I don't know. What are some futuristic? Somebody made a gas mask breathing apparatus that lights up.
Someone made it here.
Yeah.
And the sensors, yeah. It's
Detect
so
your
cool.
breath.
Detect
Yeah,
your
maybe
breath.
we can get them on the show next
That's
time.
cool.
It's so sick. I know, he's always here like late at night though.
Cool. I'll look up dual mining and make a comment on that next week. Looks pretty cool.
I want to build a robot that cleans my floors. I know,
It's called a
I
Roomba.
know,
What
I
are you
know.
talking about?
It's a Roomba, but Roombas, like, I don't like that they're circular. Like, why can't it be a flexible thing so that it can really
Like an
make
amorphous
progress?
blob.
Yeah.
They have the scuba.
I think that's a dog.
I think the scuba is slightly more sports
It's
shaped.
literally flubber.
Yeah, you want flubber that rides on a Roomba or something.
Yeah, I do, and just like rolls around my apartment and collects.
Eating your
The
crumbs.
scuba's square.
Just you
But
like
also
come
I
to
want
hack days and
something-
you're like wearing it. You're like it's eating the
It's
flesh.
eating everything. But also, I want something that is able to go on the walls and collect any dust.
On carpet or on...
This is more
It's just like-
sci-fi than cyberpunk. This is hilarious.
Because the scuba does that. It
The
just it does
scuba?
hardwood
What is the
floors.
scuba?
It's the Roomba that's water-based. So it like cleans floors and whatever properly by spraying them with cleaning. And then
That's
it's built
interesting.
for doing like
Oh,
hard
okay.
corners.
I get it. It's made by the same people.
No, that's... Here's the scuba.
Oh.
Or the Brava.
Brava.
So it's nice, probably square because of the scuba. Because Roomba is
Brava
circle, really.
mopping robot. It's still made by the same people. Oh no, it's not. It's made by.
Made by iRobot.
But doesn't iRobot also make?
Yeah, it does. Weird.
Somebody said no more mining, please.
I know. Sorry, it's bad for the environment. We get it.
Yeah. Proof of stake. Let's see it.
I'm linking you guys to the cleaning robots. I just don't want to clean. I don't care about cleaning.
So if you at home have something that you're kind of really interested in tech-wise that you think would be cool for the holidays, post it in the comments. We're always looking for cool things to review or talk about, or I'm always up for just finding out about new things. Also, if you're listening at home, we have a limit on how many times you can share this before we get banned on Facebook. So
Which happens every time.
yeah, so if you could share this out to your favorite groups, things that you think might be related to what we're doing, that would be a huge, huge help, and we would thank you forever. So yeah, what else? Holidays. What are you gonna get for your family members? Do you have any techie family members? Do you have any?
My mom can barely text, okay? I would love for there to be like a operating system that is simple enough for people to just do the basics, but not for babies, so it's not like cheesy.
Like an iPad?
Yeah, but even iPads are too complicated. Try and connect that to Wi-Fi when you like didn't grow up doing tech.
Yeah, that's true.
It's
Like,
hard.
honestly, I think a lot of the settings interfaces are just bad. I
They're
think
so bad and they're so complicated and just
we are
like,
very much caught in like a 20-year interface problem, right? Where for the last 20 years, we've been using the same type of feel, right? Like the fact that things aren't automated or automatic, I don't know. Just, I have to dig a lot into system preferences and settings for things, which is like,
so annoying.
and as a tech person, I can't imagine that would be easy for other people, right?
And it's not even about people who aren't like really even into tech. It's just like, okay, they want this device to work and they don't want to be frustrated, and you want to have a good experience when you're using a device, because that is how people start hating tech and get afraid of robots or whatever,
Because they don't understand.
They don't understand, they're getting too frustrated and they can't use it. It's not a good experience.
And now they know the robots are gonna come eat their lunch.
Yeah, they're basically like, this is stupid, I can't even use this,
The
It's frustrating.
the solution is QR codes on everything.
QR codes are so annoying. Like, whatever, good idea, whoever invented QR codes, but it's annoying. I don't know. What was, Scotty was talking about how in China, every business...
Who's Scotty?
Oh, Scotty. Scotty's our friend. He comes to Noisebridge quite often. And Scotty did the Strange Parts videos. I can link you guys to those if you haven't seen them. It's really cool. He basically built his own iPhone and then he put an iPhone jack in the iPhone.
Audio jack.
Audio jack, yeah. Oh, did I say iPhone jack?
Because in the new iPhones, they don't have an audio jack.
Right,
Ooh,
which
yeah.
is like a big complaint. And we were talking to him about living in Shenzhen, and he was showing us pictures of like all the markets, similar to like if you have a tax ID number and you go shop at the markets. Okay, well, like in Shenzhen, it's insane. It is like, it will burst your bubble, because every time you've been to another country to pick up like a magnet or a keychain or whatever, obviously we knew it was made in China, but I don't think we fully understood like how crazy
The depth.
yeah, the depth of nothing is real. But he was saying that everyone who has a business card for every little station that you visit, every little tiny store within the marketplace, all their business cards have QR codes on them, so that you can just scan them and go right to their store, which is pretty cool. I mean, that seems obvious. It seems like a natural turn of events, but I thought that was interesting. If you haven't checked out Strange Parts, I would highly recommend watching his channel, because it's like candy for your eyes. It's amazing.
Yeah, Scotty goes around and visits all these different bazaars and marketplaces, and yeah.
So cool.
But QR codes are more prevalent in the East than they are here, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So, anyway, cool. You want to talk about anything or mention anything? No? We're just running out of ideas here.
We have a
I
we have
think we're
a
brain.
in in-show audience today, so
Right?
we just don't have the laugh track put on yet.
I wish. Let's see.
What are some good shows that you've been watching? Let's get into the nerdy pop culture stuff. Oh, Attack on Titans. So I don't watch a whole lot of anime, but Attack on Titan is pretty decent anime.
Pretty decent.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I haven't seen it.
So
So
you want to check out? They just came out with season 2.
I'll
It's
link you.
so good, and it's so awkward and weird. Not awkward. It's weird.
It's weird.
It's creative, super creative. So you might want to check it out. Season 2 just came out, so check out season 1 before season 2. You know, that order of things. So just a heads up, season 2's out.
I'm linking you guys right now.
We haven't
I
seen
love it.
the Infinity Wars, not Infinity Wars, what's the new one?
Gauntlet. The-
Justice League.
Justice League, yes.
Whoa, I didn't know that was included. Is Thanos in that?
No.
That's, no, Justice League is
That's not-
DC.
Excuse me, I know nothing about comics. Thank you.
It's fine. Justice League is DC, and Infinity Wars is Marvel.
I just get
Yeah.
confused. I
Yeah.
get confused. There's too many people. There's too many things. It's like, why?
It's Batman. Basically, all the movies that are okay are DC, and all the movies that are good are Marvel.
Okay, do you think this is weird? What do you trust more, IMDb or Rotten Tomatoes? IMDb.
Well, IMDb
You trust
uses,
IMDb?
Yeah, IMDb uses Rotten Tomatoes, so doesn't it?
Get ready. Justice League 2017 on IMDb has a 7.3 out of 10. Float on
bad.
over to Rotten Tomatoes and you will see it's like nothing. It's like 2 out of 5 stars. What is it? Or rating 41. Wait, that's confusing. Oh, 82% did like it. I lied.
Justice League has a 41% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Wait, but how come when you look it up in Google, it only says 2 out of 5 stars?
I don't know.
Listen, I'm gonna take a screenshot of this.
And Coco has a 96%.
Yeah, but Coco, like, how can you say no to Coco? It's a cute thing.
And that's also the #1 movie worldwide right now.
Is it really?
Yeah, so Justice
Wow.
League had like a weekend of being #1.
Wow.
Mm.
Uh,
Thor Ragnarok is 92% on
IMDb.
Really?
Rotten Tomatoes.
I loved it. I thought it was a beautiful.
Thought it was cute. Thought it was a cartoon turned into a movie.
Someone said,
Well, the last
was
one-
Justice League any good at all?
I haven't seen it yet. We'll have to watch
We
it.
don't know.
and
We have
get
to
back
watch
to you.
it.
I like the
What do you think?
conspiracy theories that have been around Justice League though, about how the movie critics have all been bashing it, but the fans like it, but the fans haven't been heard.
Oh, wow. So there's like this rise up of the people.
No, it's like making
Fan-
fake news out of something because people aren't liking the movie.
Hmm.
I don't know. I haven't seen it, so
I thought they did okay with Wonder Woman.
I loved Wonder Woman. I mean,
It was good.
there's some things that could have been fixed, but I loved it.
Oh, one of the things that you would mention, funny enough, speaking of Wonder Woman and strong female characters, is that
Gal Gadot won't do the sequel without them getting rid of the director.
you said that Attack on Titan was had a lot of strong female.
It has a lot of. It is probably the most legitimate portrayal of real life warriors that I've ever seen. Like, it doesn't matter. It's interesting about Attack on Titans, the anime, because it doesn't matter. Wow, that was so meta. I just got like live stream out of live stream. It doesn't matter if the sex of the characters. It's truly based on their personality, and like there's obviously the Titans are like all these warriors that fight these things. You can look into it, but just the way that they portray female versus male characters, it's really interesting.
We
It's like it doesn't matter what their body parts are.
yeah. So we got another question: is the world flat? I'm gonna go on a limb and say probably not.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Who's the flat earther? Who's that guy?
Well, I'm not gonna say their name out loud, but we did get that question.
They did post it on the comments though, so.
This was in the cyberpunk group.
That's funny.
Yeah, you're welcome. Good morning, joining us.
Man, we have so many friends coming in today. This is great.
Nice. Welcome to the show, Jahan.
You can
Hello.
sit over here if you want to be part
Yeah.
of it.
Interesting.
Are you gonna talk about what you're working on, or talk
I
about
guess I can if you want me to.
net neutrality,
Yes.
or another hot topic, net neutrality. We haven't talked about net
Wow.
neutrality.
How
Who
can
are
we
we?
leave that?
How
What
did
have
we-
you guys been talking about so far?
Yes.
You know,
Stuff.
Christmas holiday gifts.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we haven't. We've talked about cryptocurrency. Let's see,
We've talked about
holiday
it.
gift ideas for ourselves.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
If people want to get you a gift, you're talking about what that should be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she already asked for an iPhone X, right?
Yes.
Oh.
What else did we talk about? Comic book movies. What else?
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
pretty much anything that came up.
Yeah. I wrote a blog post about net neutrality yesterday, actually.
What
So
did
it's
you do?
online.
Where
Okay,
is
let's
it?
let's
You're
get
against
into it.
Can
You're
we link
against
it?
it, right?
I hate it.
No, I don't know. I'm not against it. Net neutrality is basically saying that a person who's providing you internet service cannot discriminate between different websites that you're accessing.
Mhm.
Not just websites, but just different
Content.
network content, yeah. And they can discriminate against you. If you got the cheap plan
Mm.
and someone else got the expensive plan, they can certainly prioritize the expensive person's traffic, which they do. Obviously, they will offer different plans,
Mhm.
but they can't discriminate against different websites because you don't want them Comcast to say, oh, Netflix is going to suck now and Hulu is going to be awesome because we own Hulu, because then it just
Right.
makes them more powerful.
Right.
Not
Yeah.
to mention companies that can't pay, like startups that can't pay any of that.
Yeah, exactly.
Online partnerships.
So net neutrality is good for people because it allows the content that they're consuming to be fair, right? It allows them to be competitive against one another.
Yeah, it's debatable, and it is debated, of course. But it is, in some ways, net neutrality is kind of a band-aid, because if there was a lot of competition for providing internet service,
Mm-hmm.
and so let's say Comcast was throttling Netflix, and there's a lot of competition for other providers around, like in San Francisco, there's a good amount of competition.
Mm-hmm.
So if Comcast is throttling Netflix, I'm just going to, in San Francisco, I'm going to switch to SonicNet. I'm going to switch to Monkey Brains. The problem is that in a lot of places, Comcast or AT&T or CenturyLink or whoever else is actually a monopoly, and they're the only provider that people can access, and so they could then use that power to further their other business interests. But the real problem is the monopoly. And since they are monopolies, they also do other stuff like not upgrading your network and et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so and a lot of the reason they're monopolies actually is because they've received around $400 billion from the federal government
And grants.
over the years in grants to build out internet. And a lot of time
They
don't even build what they're supposed to.
Really?
But then if they do build what they're supposed to, they still own it, even though
Right.
the government paid for it.
Wow.
And they're a monopoly, and then we have to have stuff like net neutrality to stop them from abusing it. So it's
I was-
pretty screwed up.
I was talking about that the other day. Was it AT&T or Verizon that they got tons and tons of money and they just
Yeah.
didn't build anything?
They were supposed to build like gigabit fiber in like 1996 or something. Really?
Are you
And
serious?
they basically shrugged to the government like, sorry for giving us like millions or billions of dollars.
Billions of dollars.
Wow.
They're like, we built
That's
a
crazy.
couple
So
feet.
I have a couple of ideas. Now, we talk about net neutrality, and if it's gone, which means our internet will suck, and we'll need alternatives, right?
Mhm.
So people have been talking about mesh networks, at least as much as you can create a mesh network in a geographically confined area, and then having backbone kind of infrastructure connecting all these mesh networks, kind of how the internet is
Yeah.
structured today.
The internet is a mesh network
Right.
in some ways.
Right. And but having that crowdfunded by everyone, right?
Mhm.
I mean, technically the internet is crowdfunded by everyone now.
Yeah.
but doing it in such a way that it's almost like a DAO of sorts, right?
Yes.
And so I think that's kind of an option. What do you think about?
Well, as it happens, I'm working on a project called Althea, it's ALTHEA, and that is basically it's technology that lets routers pay each other for bandwidth. So it's not necessarily, I guess it is a DAO in the sense that it is kind of a decentralized organization in a way, but it's mostly just that lets people set up networking equipment in their cities, set up transmitters on the roof, radio transmitters, stuff like that, and then these pieces of equipment are all able to pay each other for bandwidth. And what that does is it means that you don't need a big organization, an ISP at the top collecting everyone's money every month and then using that to maintain the equipment. The equipment collects its own money, and so we think that's going to allow people to basically have sort of mesh networks that are much more sustainable because the people running the equipment will have money coming in, and that will provide some competition to these big monopoly ISPs in a lot of places. So we're working on some test deployments in various places. So one of them is going to be in Oregon. They just have pretty bad access there, and in the town it's pretty rural. But another one is actually going to be in Buffalo. Buffalo is fully wired. I mean, it's a city, but it's very expensive bad service from a company called, it used to be called Time Warner. They recently changed their name. I forget what the new name is, but basically they just don't have any competition. Because if you want to start another ISP, you've got to you've got to be able to build your whole your own network to cover large enough an area that can support your ISP business. And you got to go door to door and get people to sign up and stuff like that. And with our system, people can just start setting up their own hardware and be like kind of self-motivated to build the network.
I have a question on top of
Yeah.
that. This isn't necessarily technology, but more political. A lot of the providers actually lobby the government to keep very stringent control over the territories.
Mm-hmm.
Will mesh networks hypothetically run into this problem where they try to be banned by like companies like AT&T, where they say they're a danger, kind of like pirate radio?
Yeah, I mean that could be. I think for us, certainly, it would actually be good to have that kind of publicity. And the thing though is that I don't think in the U.S. that's going to be a huge issue of them banning things outright, because there are a ton of wireless ISPs out there already, where it is like, it's not a mesh network. It's not where all the hardware is owned by different people and kind of decentralized thing, but they're more independent ISPs that are run using radio hardware, and those aren't really being stopped by any kind of legal means. I don't think they really have any leverage to stop that kind of thing. What the big ISPs do have leverage over is when cities try to put in their own networks, and the argument is always, this is bad for competition because the city or the government's doing this, the government's coming in, and it's like communism,
They own the infrastructure.
Yeah, exactly. So they in the U.S. there's generally not a lot of leverage to stop people from setting up their own stuff, as long as they're not interfering with someone else's equipment. And if you're on 5 gigahertz or 2.4 gigahertz, the Wi-Fi frequencies, you're allowed to do basically what you want on there.
Do you know, so there have been some cases of people trying to create their own internet, like Google Fiber,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like they stopped. They kind of shut down that project, or at least halted it for the time being. Do you know why? Like, was it bureaucratic? Was it political kind of or they just didn't see the light at the end of that tunnel?
Well, I mean, Google drops a lot of projects.
Mm-hmm.
They generally kind of do that. I think what happened with Google Fiber is just that they realized it's really expensive putting fiber in the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Fiber is always going to be is very, very fast. So you can get today you can get 40 gigabits over fiber. In the future, you'll be able to get more over the same fiber as they improve the hardware on either end of that fiber. But radio stuff is a lot cheaper to install. You can get a directional gigabit radio link for like $1,000 for both ends. A little more expensive too, depending on what you get, and there's different brands, and some are more reliable and stuff like that. But the thing with wireless hardware is it's not the ultimate fastest thing like fiber, but it's a lot faster than DSL, and it's also very cheap to put in. So you can get like a 500 gigabit link for $80 for each side. It's just this little thing that's about 6 inches around that screws onto the side of your house, and so that kind of stuff can be very quickly and cheaply and organically installed by people, and so it's a lot cheaper than digging a big hole in the ground for fiber.
So how realistic do you think a citizen-owned internet could be?
Well, I mean, I think it can be pretty realistic. I think that there's always going to be a wide variety of ways that people connect to the internet, depending on where they are. If fiber is available, then it's going to be a very good option. But I think that with our project, we're trying to sort of reduce the costs, the transaction costs of providing internet service with cryptocurrency, and also reduce the cost of joining a network and hooking into it. And so I think that that's going to make it, it's going to make wireless hardware and mesh networks and stuff spread much more quickly. Just like it might be if you try to set up your own credit card company, that might be something that you might succeed at, or you might fail at it, right? Mm-hmm. But Satoshi wrote the Bitcoin paper, and it's just a new way of kind of organizing transaction verification machines, and that's spread by itself organically. Now you have Bitcoin, Ethereum, all kinds of other cryptocurrencies.
Are there any security concerns with the mesh network?
Not in particular. The way it works is there is something called an exit node. This is in the mesh network software we're building, and also generally in a lot of mesh networks that are out today work like this too. The exit node actually puts the traffic onto the internet. It's in a data center somewhere, and then there's a bunch of physical nodes that are out on buildings and stuff like that. And then there's like a user node, which is like sort of your home internet router that's connecting to someone nearby. And your home internet router has an encrypted tunnel open with the exit node, and all the routers in between the exit node and the user node, all they see is encrypted packets that are part of this encrypted tunnel. And so your neighbor is not going to be able to see what websites you're on and what you're doing and stuff.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So I know you had a demo
Not with me.
on Reddit that did very well. So we'll post a video of the mesh demo.
It's also on the website, on the blog. I think I put it up on the blog too. I might have not put it on the blog, to be honest. So I'll send you the link on Facebook. Just
I have the link right here.
Oh, you have it. It's the YouTube video.
Yes.
Yeah. So what is kind of next for this whole net neutrality? What you're doing? Where is tech headed in this space? Where do you think it's kind of converging?
I think in terms of networking, we know how to make networks, and I think we just need to have ways that people can have more control over their networks, and that networks are faster, not held back by someone who's has a monopoly and is trying to make a lot of money. Because ultimately, you just want to get as much data as possible from point A to point B, and it shouldn't be exciting. It should be. It should be something. It should be something that can earn people some money who are providing the service, obviously. But stuff like net neutrality and stuff like what we're working on these are just ways to have it be less monopolistic. I personally haven't really delved too deeply into the whole lobbying stuff with the FCC and the and the money they give out to these big ISPs. But I would like to see in the future them giving less money to big ISPs and letting people figure out their own connectivity. So if you look at, there's actually a book that was published by a group called the Irregulators. So you take the word regulator and irregular and kind of put them together. They have a whole book about, it's called the Book of Broken Promises or something. It's this whole book that's about like all the money that was given to Verizon and CenturyLink and Comcast and stuff, and
that's great.
Yeah, and all that stuff, and so you can read more about that. And they're more. There's the people I used to work at FCC and stuff, so they know people you can send her.
Yeah. Cool. Do you think that as we create technology to circumvent this pinching that's happening, do you think that there will be more legislation to make it harder to do like mesh networks, or
I think
citizen-owned internet.
I think the thing is though, if when you bring in that legislation, if you bring in legislation that there's a lot of people involved in doing something, and by the time they get around to doing legislation about anything, it's already pretty big because Congress moves really slow. And so if you come in and tell a bunch of people, oh, you can't do this, that's like going to piss a lot of people off. And so I think it's not going to be a huge issue because of that. And also, especially in America, in some other countries, people have a different attitude about government control and private enterprise and stuff. But in America, you can always get a lot of traction with, the argument like, oh, government restricting what I'm trying to do. And so if you're coming in saying people can't set up certain hardware, that's going to piss people off.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they kind of already do that now with radio broadcasting stations, like pirate radio stuff.
That's true. That's true. So there's a lot of stuff around spectrum licensing, and you can do whatever you want on 2.4 as long as you're not broadcasting basically like too loud or too powerfully on 2.4 and 5 gigahertz, and also there's 3.6 gigahertz, 11 gigahertz, 60 gigahertz opening up. There's an organization actually called WISPA, it's WISPA, and that's a trade organization for these independent wireless ISPs. And they've done a lot to lobby for opening up additional frequency bands. And so I hope that more of that continues and more frequency gets opened up.
Nice. WISPA, W-I-S-P-A?
Yeah. WISPA, yes, WISPA.
I feel like there's gonna have to be some form of lobbying group sooner than later with this. That's pro, like Uber and Lyft and all them. They created like sharing economy lobbyists like organization, which wasn't as genuine as they seemed it to be, but like
Uber,
Right?
Uber's like fighting for old man.
But yeah, I think like if you get enough people, like even you can get a groundswell of people around just like lobbying their local or state in each level, because I could see like companies like Verizon going straight to federal government to overturn things.
They'll try to. The whole thing. These companies, these big ISPs, Verizon, Comcast, AT&T, CenturyLink, they make the way they make money is they have a monopoly and they do things to keep that monopoly.
Yeah,
so they will certainly.
And where you
try
see
to
this,
oppose it.
where you see this right now in kind of a similar industry is marijuana, where the pharmaceutical companies are lobbying like crazy to keep marijuana legal in a lot of places.
Illegal
or
or legal?
Illegal, and also banned is like being used for medical purposes.
Yeah.
Even though they're actually also buying up a lot of the patents and rights for marijuana, which is weird too.
They probably just want to delay it fast enough so that long enough so they can get.
But
get on lockdown.
Well, so this is a whole different story, but they're actually going into creating pharmaceutical level versions of marijuana, which
With
the
Marinol, right?
The idea is that they'll actually keep marijuana legal while this stuff is legal, which is like crazy. But you can see like in other industries they're already doing this, so I imagine the same thing will happen. So, put money together, put people together, there should be no problem.
Yeah, I mean WISPA. I think WISPA is a great organization, and there are other companies in the space that are doing similar things to Althea, and so maybe there will arise more of an industry group around incentivized mesh in particular. But I think that also WISPA might be a great vehicle for this kind of thing because they already fight for kind of independent wireless ISPs, which are just a little bit bigger than the individual operators in a mesh network. So.
Cool. Nice. That was awesome.
That was awesome.
So, cool. So if you want to learn more about net neutrality, just do a Google search. But check out battleforthenet.com, where you can go online and send your local congressman, I think, an email. Double check that just so that I can. You can write Congress right from there. You can basically figure out how to participate in the fight for saving net neutrality. And that's battleforthenet.com.
I just linked you below.
Yeah. Someone said, thought we'd see more fiber to the equipment inside house beyond the DMARC, given how little skill costs to terminate easy, quick, self-sealing ends by companies like Leviton. Albeit when tested, I tested them, the failure rate was satisfactory for home, not so much on the industrial scale. I don't know. No.
Yeah, no, I know about there's some apartment buildings are getting wired for fiber now to each apartment. So
That's
Anyway,
cool.
a lot of times, and I'm not an expert on this, but a lot of times that's actually done by given ISP that come in when it's being built and say, hey, we're going to wire you up for fiber. It's going to be awesome. And then they kind of own that fiber that's inside the building. It makes it hard for the building to switch. But, you know, that's just that's an application of that technology, which is very useful.
Cool. All right. Is there anything anyone else would like to cover? Anything? Any questions out there from the audience? We have a good 60 people watching right now. And this is both on Facebook and YouTube, so hopefully people have been paying attention to the comments there.
I have.
Okay.
Are you saying, yeah, I've been posting it.
Cool. So I guess that's it for Hack Days. Thanks everyone for joining us, and this is the end of Hack Days, where we'll go through and give kind of upcoming events, anything you want to pitch, where people can follow you online, things like that. We'll start with you.
I don't exist online, but I wore this shirt today. It says join the empire and see the universe. It's vintage. No, you can't buy it anywhere, but it's cool.
Unless you give Catherine a really good offer for
No,
An
you gotta
iPhone.
give me an iPhone.
iPhone X.
X, and I'll send you this t-shirt. It's been washed, don't worry.
But you're not going to use the face recognition, so why get the iPhone X? Mine
Just
the notch,
because
it's a top-notch device.
I want the iPhone X.
has the same camera as the 8.
Okay.
Like Nathan T. Ross on stuff, so you can find me by looking up Nathan T. Ross on things.
Oh, you can find me on Twitter, J Tremback. It's JTREMBACK. And then our site, I think Dan posted it, altheamatch.com.
Any cool events or anything you want to plug coming
I
up?
don't think so. I'm not too up on the events, unfortunately.
Cool. As always,
Kind
I'm
of stay at home.
As always, I'm Dan Daly, and you can find me on Twitter.
Oh wait, no, I have a good event.
Okay.
So I volunteer with a Mesh network. This is still not cryptocurrency incentivized. It's for free in Oakland, called People's Open Network, and we meet at the Pseudo Room Hackerspace, which is in a building called the Omni, which you can find on Google Maps, which is in West Oakland, on Tuesdays at 7:30, and you can join and learn about networking and help set up a network in Oakland and stuff. So that's cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'll be there.
Very cool.
All right, and as always, I'm Dan Gailey. You can find me on Twitter at DPG. You can find me on Facebook under Dan Gailey. And that was a great Hack Days. Thanks everyone for coming out, and we'll see you next week. Yes, and as always, be excellent to each other and hack the planet.
Bye.